The Magical Snow Globe. Once upon a time there was a tiny town called Winterglück, nestled in a valley that looked like it came straight out of a storybook. The first Sunday of Advent was just around the corner, and the excitement for Christmas filled the crisp, cold air. The rooftops were already covered in a thick layer of snow, and the scent of gingerbread, cinnamon, and pine branches lingered in the streets. Amid this winter wonderland lived a little girl named Lotte. Lotte was 8 years old, with bright red hair that always seemed slightly untamed, as if the wind had just been playing with it. Her green eyes sparkled with curiosity and a thirst for adventure. She lived with her parents and her younger brother Felix in a cozy house at the edge of the town. But although Christmas was the happiest time of the year for everyone in the village, Lotte felt a little sad this year. Her best friend Clara had moved to the big city with her family, and Lotte missed her terribly. On the morning of the first Advent, as the bells of the Smallage church chimed cheerfully, Lotte decided to take a walk through the freshly fallen snow. She put on her thick wool hat, red scarf, and warm boots, and stepped out into the white world. The snow crunched beneath her feet, and her breath turned into little clouds that danced in the air. On her way she passed an old toy shop tucked away in a narrow alley. The shop was small and unassuming, but the window display was a true wonderland. Toy soldiers marched in rows, dolls with rosy cheeks smiled invitingly, and a miniature train wound its way through a village of gingerbread houses. But what truly caught Lotte's attention was a large snow globe sitting in the center of the display. The snow globe was unlike any Lotte had ever seen. It was as large as a pumpkin and shimmered in all the colors of the rainbow. Inside was a tiny Christmas village that looked so lifelike, Lotte almost believed the little inhabitants were moving. A magnificent Christmas tree stood in the center, surrounded by tiny people laughing and dancing joyfully. Curious, Lotte pressed her nose against the glass pane. "What a wonderful thing," she whispered, feeling her heart race. She longed to see the snow globe up close. A bell jingled as she opened the heavy wooden door of the shop. Inside it was warm and cozy, and the air smelled of cedarwood and chocolate. Behind the counter stood an old man with a long white beard and round glasses. He wore a red sweater that shone as brightly as Lotte's scarf. "Ah, good morning, young lady," he greeted her in a voice as warm as a crackling fireplace. "What can I do for you?" Lotte pointed to the snow globe in the window. "That globe there, it's so beautiful. May I take a closer look?" The man smiled mysteriously. "That's no ordinary snow globe," he said, carefully taking it out of the window display. "It's something truly special. They say it's magical." "Magical?" Lotte's eyes widened. "How does it work?" The man winked at her. "That's not something I can simply tell you. Some secrets you have to discover for yourself. But I can tell you this. Anyone who shakes the snow globe and makes a wish will be transported to a wondrous world." Lotte swallowed hard. It sounded too good to be true. But something inside her told her the old man was speaking the truth. "Can I try it?" she asked hesitantly. The man nodded. "Of course, but remember, wishes are powerful. Choose your wish wisely." Lotte carefully took the snow globe in her hands. It was heavy and cool to the touch, yet it seemed to radiate a strange warmth. Taking a deep breath, she shook the globe, and the snow inside began to swirl. Sparks flew, and Lotte whispered, "I wish for an exciting adventure, and to feel less alone." Suddenly, she felt the ground beneath her begin to shift. The world around her spun faster and faster until everything disappeared in a whirl of colors. Then, with a soft pop, she was gone. When Lotte opened her eyes again, she found herself in a place that looked as though it had come straight out of the snow globe. The sky was painted in soft pink hues, the snow-covered houses looked like they were made of gingerbread, and everywhere, lights twinkled like 1,000 tiny stars. In the center of the village square stood a magnificent Christmas tree, so tall its top almost touched the clouds. But the strangest thing was that everything was alive. The little figures she had seen inside the snow globe were now moving. Gnomes in red hats scurried back and forth, elves carried shiny gift boxes, and even the reindeer pulling a tiny sleigh were getting ready for flight. "Welcome to Christmas Wonderland," a cheerful voice suddenly called out behind her. Lotte turned around to see a tiny elf, no taller than her knee. He wore a green jacket, yellow trousers, and a pointy hat with a bell on the tip that jingled softly with every move. "I'm Emil, one of the chief elves. You must be Lotte, right?" "How do you know my name?" Lotte asked, astonished. "The snow globe told us about your wish," Emil said with a mischievous grin. "Here wishes come true, and yours was for an adventure. So here you are." Lotte's heart raced with excitement. Everything was so magical and thrilling that she didn't even think to feel scared. "What am I supposed to do here?" she asked curiously. "That depends," Emil said, leading her across the village square. "Christmas Wonderland always needs a helping hand. You could help us wrap presents, check on the reindeer, or—" He paused and looked at her with wide eyes. "Or you could meet Santa Claus himself." "Santa Claus?" Lotte exclaimed, her eyes lighting up with joy. "Of course, but before we visit him, I'd like to introduce you to someone else." Emil led Lotte to a small house, whose door was decorated with a wreath of garlands. When they entered, the room felt warm and cozy. A large stove radiated pleasant heat, and at a table sat a kind-looking woman with snow-white hair and glasses. She was sewing a red hat and softly humming a melody. "This is Mrs. Claus," Emil whispered. The woman looked up and smiled as she saw Lotte. "Oh, you are such a special girl," she said in a gentle voice. "Welcome to our little realm. What wish has brought you here?" Lotte told her about her desire to have an adventure and make new friends. Mrs. Claus nodded understandingly. "That is a wonderful wish, and I believe Christmas Wonderland has just the right thing for you." At that moment, a reindeer with a red nose burst through the door. It wore a scarf around its neck and seemed a little flustered. "Rudolph!" Emil exclaimed. "What's the matter?" "Santa needs help," the reindeer panted. "One of the gifts is missing, and without it, Christmas can't happen." Lotte felt a wave of determination wash over her. "Can I help?" she asked bravely. Rudolph looked at her and nodded. "Of course, but we need to hurry. Come with me." Without hesitation, Lotte followed the reindeer out of the house and through the village. Emil ran behind them, and soon they reached a large workshop illuminated by countless lights. Inside, Santa Claus sat at an enormous desk surrounded by piles of wish lists. He looked up as they entered, his eyes sparkling with joy. "Lotte," he said in a deep, warm voice, "I've been expecting you. Only you can help us save Christmas." "How can I help?" Lotte asked, feeling both honored and a little nervous. "A very special gift has gone missing," Santa explained. "It's a golden bell that carries the heart of the Christmas spirit. Without it, the reindeer can't pull the sleigh, and I won't be able to deliver the presents." Lotte furrowed her brow. Where could it be? "We suspect it's lost in the frost caves," Emil said. "It's a dangerous place, but I'm sure you can do it." "I'll try," Lotte said resolutely. Santa smiled. "That's the spirit. Take Emil and Rudolph with you, they'll help. And remember, in Christmas Wonderland, nothing is impossible as long as you believe in yourself." Lotte, Emil, and Rudolph immediately set off for the frost caves, located at the edge of Christmas Wonderland. The snow beneath their feet was soft and crunched with each step, while the stars above them sparkled like tiny diamonds. Rudolph led the way, his glowing red nose like a small beacon lighting the dark path. "Are the frost caves really that dangerous?" Lotte asked, pulling her scarf tighter around her neck. "Well," Emil began, giving her a crooked grin, "they're not exactly a picnic spot. But with us by your side, you have nothing to fear." "And what exactly is in these caves?" Lotte felt her heart beat a little faster. "They say frost spirits live there," Emil explained. "They're not evil, but they don't like strangers entering their caves. We'll need to be careful and respectful." After a while, the frost caves appeared before them. The entrance was lined with icicles that glistened like giant crystals in the darkness. An icy wind blew toward them, and Lotte felt the chill seeping through her coat. "There they are," Rudolph said with a snort. "Stay close to me, I know the way." They entered the caves, and the world around them immediately felt different. The walls were made of shimmering ice that reflected the light of Rudolph's nose, casting a mysterious blue glow over the caves. It was breathtakingly beautiful, but also a little eerie. Suddenly, a faint giggle echoed off the walls. Lot stopped and looked around. What was that? Those are the frost spirits, Emil whispered. They're watching us. Hello? Lot called hesitantly. We mean no harm. We're just looking for a golden bell. Do you know where it is? The giggling grew louder, and an icy breeze swept through the cave. Then they appeared, small, translucent figures that looked like sparkling snowflakes. They had large, glowing eyes and moved so lightly that they seemed to float. The bell belongs to us now, one of the frost spirits said in a high-pitched voice. But it's important for Christmas, Lot said. Without the bell, Santa can't deliver the presents. The frost spirits exchanged glances, seeming to deliberate. Finally, one of them stepped forward and said, Why should we give you the bell? It's so beautiful, and we love beautiful things. Lot thought for a moment. Maybe we can give you something even more beautiful? Something even better. The spirit seemed curious. What could that be? Lot remembered the Christmas cookies Mrs. Claus had given her before they set out. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a handful of intricately decorated cookies. These are the best Christmas cookies ever, she said, holding them out to the frost spirits. They're sweet and delicious, and I bet you've never tasted anything like them before. The spirits floated closer, sniffing the cookies. They smell interesting, said one of them. But we share everything. Do you have enough for all of us? Of course, Lot replied with a smile. You can have them all if you give us the bell back. The spirits whispered among themselves, and finally they nodded. One of them vanished briefly and returned with the golden bell. It was even more beautiful than Lot had imagined, shimmering like liquid gold with a little red ribbon tied around it. Here, said the frost spirit, handing the bell to Lot. But only because you asked nicely. Thank you so much, Lot said, her voice trembling with joy. You've saved Christmas. The frost spirits grabbed the cookies and disappeared, giggling, into the depths of the cave. Lot, Emil, and Rudolph immediately set off on their way back, with the golden bell safely in Lot's hands. That was really brave of you, Emil said as they left the frost caves behind. And pretty clever, Rudolph added. Lot felt a warm glow of pride in her heart. She had not only gone on an adventure but also made new friends, and saved Christmas. With the golden bell in hand, Lot walked back with Emil and Rudolph. The snow crunched under their feet, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of fir trees and Christmas spices toward them. Lot felt both relieved and proud. She had found the bell, and Christmas was saved. We have to hurry, Emil said, glancing up at the sky, where the first stars were already twinkling. Santa doesn't have much time to get everything ready. When they reached the village, they were greeted by a cheering crowd. Elves, dwarves, and other residents of Christmas Wonderland had gathered to welcome Lot and her companions. Some held lanterns, others sang Christmas carols, and everywhere there were joyful faces. They're back, called an elf in a high-pitched voice. They've got the bell. Santa Claus came to meet them, his red coat billowing in the wind, and his eyes sparkling with joy. Lot, you did it, he exclaimed, spreading his arms wide. Lot handed him the golden bell. Here it is. The frost spirits gave it back to us. Santa took the bell carefully, as if it were the most precious thing in the world. You've given us all a wonderful gift, he said in his warm, deep voice. Without you, we couldn't have saved Christmas. Mrs. Claus stepped forward and wrapped a soft blanket around Lot's shoulders. You're truly something special, she said with a loving smile. But now we need your help one more time. There's still so much to do before the night is over. What can I do? Lot asked eagerly. The bell needs to be attached to the sleigh, Emil explained. And then we need someone to help load the last of the presents. I'd be happy to help, Lot said. Together with Emil and the other elves, she ran to Santa's sleigh. It was a magnificent vehicle, adorned with golden decorations and red ribbons. Rudolph and the other reindeer were already in place, their harnesses gleaming in the light of countless lanterns. Lot fastened the golden bell to the sleigh, and as soon as she was done, a bright clear sound rang out, echoing through the night. It was as if the bell had a magical tone that made the stars in the sky shine even brighter. "Perfect," Emil called. "Now let's load the presents." In the workshop, colorful packages were stacked high, each lovingly wrapped and tied with a ribbon. Lot and the elves worked hand in hand to load the sleigh. The packages were as light as feathers, and Lot wondered if that, too, was part of the magic of Christmas Wonderland. Finally, everything was ready. The sleigh was filled to the brim with presents, and the reindeer were pawing impatiently at the ground. Santa climbed onto the driver's seat and took hold of the reins. "It's time, Lot," he said, looking at her. "Would you like to join me on my journey?" Lot's eyes grew wide. "I can come with you?" "Of course," Santa said with a smile. "You've helped us so much. I want you to experience the magic of this night for yourself." Lot didn't hesitate for a second. She climbed into the sleigh and sat down next to Santa. Emil handed her a thick blanket and winked at her. "Have fun and don't forget to hold on tight." With a loud ho ho ho, Santa snapped the reins and the reindeer leaped into the air. The sleigh lifted off the ground, and soon they were soaring over the snow-covered rooftops of Christmas Wonderland. The world below them was a sea of lights, and Lot could feel the joy and peace that this magical night brought. Santa Claus smiled at her. "Ready to reach the first stop?" "Yes," Lot shouted as the wind blew through her hair. The sleigh began to descend, and Lot realized they were over a small town. The houses were wrapped in warm lights, and the scent of pine branches and cookies filled the air. Santa Claus pulled out a large book full of names and addresses. "Here," he said, handing Lot a small package. "This is for a girl named Anna. Would you like to deliver it?" Lot nodded eagerly. With the package in hand, she carefully climbed out of the sleigh and crept up to the house. Through the window, she saw a Christmas tree surrounded by a family singing Christmas carols. Lot gently placed the package in front of the door, knocked, and then quickly ran back to the sleigh. Once she was back inside, she saw the girl open the door and find the package. The smile on her face was priceless, and Lot felt as though her heart was full of light. "That was wonderful," she said as the sleigh took off again. "This is the magic of Christmas," Santa said. "And now you're a part of it." Lot and Santa flew on through the night, the world below them sparkling like a carpet of stars. At each stop, Lot placed gifts in front of doors under Christmas trees, or stuffed them into stockings by the fireplace. Everywhere they went, they left behind joy and a sense of warmth that touched the hearts of the people. But soon a question began to occupy Lot's mind. She looked at Santa as they flew through the clouds between two cities. "Santa," she began hesitantly, "why do we do all this? Why do you deliver so many presents every year?" Santa smiled and stroked his white beard. "That's a wonderful question, Lot," he said. "Christmas isn't just about giving presents. It's about sharing love, hope, and joy. Every gift we deliver carries a message. You matter, you're not alone, and someone is thinking of you." Lot thought about his words as they flew through the cold night air. Finally, she nodded. "But why do you need a bell to pull the sleigh? Isn't that just a symbol?" Santa laughed heartily. "You're very clever, Lot. The golden bell is indeed a symbol. It reminds us that magic only works when we all work together. Without the bell, the reindeer couldn't pull the sleigh because it connects the magic among them." This answer stayed with Lot as they continued their journey. After many more stops and adventures, they finally returned to the Christmas Wonderland. The elves and dwarfs were waiting for them and cheered as the sleigh landed. "You've really acted like part of our family," said Santa as he helped Lot out of the sleigh. "But now it's time to take you home." Lot felt a lump rise in her throat. She didn't want to leave. She had learned so much, made new friends, and experienced an adventure she would never forget. But she knew it was time to return. "Will I ever see you again?" she asked softly. Santa placed a hand on her shoulder. "You will always carry us in your heart," he said. "And every time you give someone a gift or do something kind, you'll bring the magic of Christmas into the world." Lotte nodded, her eyes sparkling with tears. Emil stepped forward and pressed a small gift into her hand. "This is for you," he said. "Open it when you're home." Rudolph led her back to the snow globe, which was still in the middle of the village square. "Are you ready?" he asked. Lotte nodded. She placed her hand on the snow globe, and instantly the world around her began to swirl. The wind howled, the light flickered, and then everything was still. A moment later, she stood in the living room beside the Christmas tree, with the snow globe in her hand. Everything was just as she had left it, as if no time had passed. But in her heart, she knew she had taken a journey that had changed her life. Curiously, she opened the gift Emil had given her. Inside was a small golden bell, similar to the one she had saved for Santa. A small note lay with it. "Remember, the true magic of Christmas lies in giving." Lotte held the bell in her hand and smiled. She knew she would never forget this lesson. Christmas was not just a holiday of gifts, it was a celebration of love, joy, and connection. In the following days, she told no one about her adventure. But she began doing small things that brought joy to others. She made cards for her neighbors, gave her little brother her favorite toy, and helped her mother bake cookies. And every time she heard the golden bell, she felt a quiet warmth in her heart. Merry Christmas.